Hey, thanks for joining me for football predictions and food and wine pairings. So today I have a really interesting wine that I'm going to be sharing for the game. I got this wine from a winemaker that I know that is local to where I live. I happen to live in the city of Vallejo, and the winemaker makes wine under the label Vallejo Cellars. And this particular wine is a wine with a good cause. 20% of all the sales of this wine go to local organizations that work on educating and supporting natural habitats for the bumblebees. Because if you did not know, bumblebees are dying at mass rates, and we really need to do everything that we can to support them, because without bumblebees, our entire food ecosystem can completely collapse. So today I am having Pollinators 2018 Red Blend from Vallejo Cellars. Now, this wine was mixed and the grapes were grown in a city called Clements, which is a small town east of the city of Lodi. Many people are familiar with Lodi from their wine and also from a great CCR song, Stuck in Lodi Again. But this is like very close by, and I wasn't really sure what to expect. I had other wines from this winemaker, so I had anticipation that it would probably be very enjoyable, but this wine was extremely enjoyable, and I'm so glad that I'm having it. So let me tell you what is in this red blend. It's so many grapes, I couldn't remember them all, so I had to write it down, so I'm going to read it off the paper. It is 40% Cabernet Sauvignon, 40% Merlot, 10% Malbec, 5% Cabernet Franc, and 5% Petit Verdot. And it all kind of comes together in a really light wine, which was very surprising. I thought it would be much heavier, considering that it has Cabernet Sauvignon as well as Cabernet Franc, which traditionally can be quite heavy. And then, I'm not a fan of Merlot, but Merlot has great properties as a blending wine, and it just really worked out great in here. So when you're taking a look at the wine in this glass, you can see that it has a really nice color. But if you were here with me, you would see that it's actually quite light, very similar to like a Pinot Noir, and that you could look right through it. On the edges here, you'll see a color that's kind of a rosy brown. When you put it up for your nose, I'm immediately getting hit with a lot of black fruit. So think black plum, blackberry. There's also a little bit of forest floor on there. So kind of like pine needles, a little bit of an earthiness about it as well. And finally, there is a little bit of tobacco, just like way in the back. There's kind of a tobacco smell. On the tongue, like I said before, it's very light. It's also quite silky. It's like medium tannin, so it's like a very approachable. It has a very long finish. There is some kind of vegetal pine needles in here, as well as a certain amount of crispness that reminds me of kind of like leather. Overall, I found it super enjoyable, and I think you should get it. It not only tastes great, but it's for a good cause. Also, the one thing that's tricky is you're going to have to go to the website, so you won't be able to get it before the game today. Now, I'll be pairing this delicious wine with a carnitas torta. If you don't know what a torta is, it's basically a burrito that's in sandwich form, and it's super great. I will be asking them to cut back on the beans. Obviously there's no rice in it, but that kind of roasted, really flavorful meat would be an excellent choice with this wine. Now, let's talk about the game. Now, traditionally on Monday night, the games are supposed to be the best of the best. Tonight is really not that case. We're going to be seeing the Arizona Cardinals, who are 2-5, taking on the Dallas Cowboys, who are 3-4-1. They got a tie when they played Green Bay earlier this year. Now, one thing that is interesting about this game is that the Cowboys are one of the few teams with a really great winning record, and that kind of dates back to the 70s when Monday Night Football started and when the Cowboys were called America's team at that time, and they were actually quite good. The Cowboys are 51-40 on Monday Night Football, and Dak Prescott is actually 5-1 on Monday Night Football. The Cowboys are 3.5-point favorite, but for today's game, I'm actually going with the Arizona Cardinals, simply because the Cowboys are super unpredictable. You cannot expect to get anything from them. I mean, they are dead last in third down conversions. Dead last. Come on. That means a team that has only one win, like the Jets, is ahead of them. That's crazy. Also for the Arizona Cardinals, their quarterback Kyler Murray is not playing tonight. He is on some kind of a loose back in the building situation. You know, up until about 3 hours ago, it looked like he was going to play. And then they announced that the backup, who's been playing for him for the last 3 weeks, professional pitchman Jacoby Brissett. You may have seen him in a commercial for Progressive, and it's very hilarious. But he is also the backup, and there has been a 4-point increase in scoring under his leadership, and basically it just seems like he knows the offense better than Kyler Murray. Now, the Arizona Cardinals only have 2 wins, and so you're like, hey, this team doesn't seem that good, but they're actually not nearly as bad as they seem. They have a half decent offense. You know, they're able to hold people to like only 6.5 yards for passing and down to 15 yards for rushing. So that's really not terrible. Those numbers are the kind of numbers that the Cowboys wish that they had. All right. So I'm not expecting much, but I am taking the Cardinals. The Cardinals are coming off of a 3-game win streak against Dallas. The last time they met was September 23rd in 2023. And the Cardinals won by about 15 points. And also the Cardinals should be well rested. They're coming off of a bye. All right, let's recap it. Go ahead and go to the website, ValeoCellars.com, to pick up Pollinators 2018 and get a bottle of this. It's for a good cause and it tastes great. Go ahead and take the Arizona Cardinals tonight. Cheers.